I'm Patrick Bailey with iQlist.com. Today is April 25th, 2022, and in this video I'm going to show a modification I've made to the famous MOAI statue. Okay, so here is the Easter Island statue. It's MOAI. I know I'm going to pronounce it kind of wrong. Now, I'll put links in the show notes as we go along here, but this is done... This model, not done by me, is fantastic because he thought about all the angles, so it prints in place. You can see as he comes out, he's not doing too many severe angles, and so it really is a great print. And they have different sizes, and it's just really well done. The only thing I did is I took this guy and I hollowed him out with Openscad. And I'll go over that in some a little bit of detail, not crazy detail. So we hollowed him out so you could put stuff in there or hide it. But then we also did some stuff in Fusion 360. So these threads are from Fusion 360. This is from Fusion 360, and we can kind of marry them together, and then we get this kind of cool thing. And it's kind of nice, and I think it looks pretty cool. And with that, let's go over some of the details. Okay, let's show a few URLs, then go over the numbers, and then go over a little bit of Openscad. Not in great detail, but just a little bit. Okay, so here's where it comes from, the MOAI. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. MOAI statue with no overhang is over here on Cult 3D. That's the word originated as far as I know. Now, if anyone ever finds anything where I got it wrong and I'm attributing it incorrectly, just correct me and I'll correct it. So the maker is Julian DeCosto. I'm sure I'm murdering his name, but it is brilliant, especially for the year it was made. Where's the year? Where is the year? 2017. Ooh, wow. That he thought ahead and did it just brilliant at the time. It's a beautiful model, and it's also one of those print in place. We have all the angles done correctly where it looks like it's just, I love it. And also right here, it looks like a really cool look. It looks like you took some stone paint and painted it. It looks really cool. I may have to do that at some point. I have some other ideas, but I think this is really cool. So with this, then there's mine over here on Printables. I put this out on here. So the only difference is I basically took that and I used Openscad to hollow it out and then added a thread in there so I can close it up. It's pretty cool. And then lastly, I did not put this on Printables because I'm debating about this, whether to confuse the issue. So I didn't put the Openscad out there, but it is out here on GitHub. The only reason I didn't put it out there is because it's not part of the model per se when it's done. You're not changing it, it's not parametric, you're not doing tweaks in this. Unlike, like the dinosaur magnets, you want to add a new dinosaur. This is like a one and go, done. But it's really interesting going looking through that. So it's out there for people who might want to go look into it, but you're going to have to go pull in the STL file. Okay. Okay, with that, let's go over the numbers. So the numbers. This guy, as is, with, let me take that thread out, with a threaded little plug there on the bottom. It took 6 hours and 34 minutes to print. It took 6.2 central electricity, and it weighs 0.05 kilograms. And at $20 per kilogram, that comes out to $1 worth of material. And the total for this is $1.07. And I think he's really cool. I need to do him some more different colors, but I really like this model. I really like turn it into, I don't want to call this a piggy bank because it's kind of small as is, but a place you could hide something, maybe a little secret compartment. Okay, so there's the numbers. And also, I am planning on doing a giant version of them. And if I do a giant version as big as the i3 Mark III can do, I think it might make a good bookend or a doorstop. And if I do that, it will be a separate model. Because I like that idea. If there's something where you're doing 20 versions of something, by all means, put up on Printables with all 20 versions. But if you like a small, medium, and large, or enough differentiation between the two, like in this case a small and a giant, it might behoove everyone to kind of follow that idea where you put up two models on Printables, because I think the future is people are going to grab exactly what they want, and they may not want to sift through, oh, here's the small, here's the large. I mean, it might make sense if there's 20 of them and they understand that, you put it on one thing versus 20 files, 20 different printable locations. But if you have a big and a small, I would say put up two. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so quickly, and I think this might make a good video to go into detail at some point. Here is the Openscad code, and as is, I put it out there with this true split. So here, if you mark this to false, it won't split it, but if you mark it to true, it will. Oh, you know what? Speaking of, I don't think I put the threads out there, so maybe I have to go throw the threads out there. Maybe I should open sort of Git repository for all these odd parts. We'll see. But if anyone really wants that, bug me and I'll find a way to get it to you, because without, you just won't have the threads down here. So the idea is you hollow this out and you hollow out a big circle here, and then you add in back the threads, which were made in Fusion 360. So it's kind of nice to bring that part in. So if you want to mark it as false and it won't bifurcate in this half, I added this as a feature, and I'm kind of doing this with most of my models when I'm doing this, just because it's nice to test to see what you did. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll remove this difference here real quickly, and we'll look at, oh, not that one. No, not that one, not that one. Here we go. Here's the MOAI Statue method module, and here's that hollow out. So I'll change the difference in here, so that way the hollow out will actually show up. And I thought it was a cool idea. I like what I did. I like what I did. Oh, you can't bifurcate it. Oh, you know what? I'll do that, and I'll just add the hollow out later on in here. Throw it back in. So I'll hollow it out, and then I'll add this guy back in just so we can see it, but you're different size. Okay. Almost. Okay, scale. Boom, boom, boom. Scale 2, 2. Oh, okay, so I have to scale it. Okay. Let me do that, and I'll just copy the scale. And I think we'll be good. Boom. Oh, this is the giant MOAI. Oh, this is my giant version. Code's the same, just scaled. I added scale. That's why it looks funny. Okay, so same idea. The actual code out there shouldn't be the giant one, it should be the regular one. But it's just, the only difference is the scale. But also when I scale it up, I have this idea, and I may be wrong, I may be right. I don't want to scale threads, because in Fusion 360 you can get these really precise threads that are exactly modeled correctly. And so what I did is I went in Fusion 360, and as an example, this is not exactly what I did. In the smaller one, let's say I made a 15 centimeter diameter thread. In this one, I made a 30 centimeter diameter thread, which applied the threads exactly as I wanted, versus just doubling the size, which probably works well enough, but I just rather, it's easy enough to get the precision, so I do. Okay, so here we go. So I like this idea for hollowing it out. For those who, let me go down to the hollow out. Here's the hollow out. For those who have seen some of my past videos, in Openscad you can do hulls. So a hull, you can do it on a two-dimensional where you can do 2 circles and they'll attach. If you do a third, they'll all attach, or you can do them in series. But if you do them in series, you kind of, here I have it in series. So here's a hull, and then here's another hull. And the last object in the hull is the first object in the other hull. So I have this, what I've done, let me see, I can use some code here. Let's see, well, let's see if I concentrate on this. Will that, boom. And let me just comment this out. Probably shows it nicer. Okay, so that first part, what I did is I made 2 spheres. In fact, if I comment out this hole, I made 2 spheres. And then you do a hole between, and that actually works pretty good with this MOAI, kind of how the shape is. I had to go tweak a bunch of different sizes and move it X, Y, and Z and kind of get exactly where I wanted. But then, boom, you got a hull. Now for the next thing, I used that sphere on the top, the smaller one, I just put it in the exact same place, because if I do all 3 together, so for example, if I comment this out and bring in that last guy, it's going to look funny, because what should happen, as it thinks, well, now I got stuck thinking, there you go, is see, it'll kind of try to attach them all together, and so that hole will wrap around. So we're going to do it in series, the first section, the next section. Otherwise, you get that, and it's not, well, maybe in some cases you want that, but in this case, I don't. So let me go show the next section, and then Control D, boom, and there's the next section. So I kind of like that, you know, 3 spheres. 3 spheres. That was pretty easy to work with, and then boom, I got this whole thing, and it worked really well. So the file's out there on GitHub, so you can go fiddle with it. Let me go remove this extra one. Boom. And there you go. But the threads aren't, but that might be something to go fiddle with. Go in OpenSCAD, make some threads, make that object, and bring it in, test for yourself to see how you can do it. So anyway, I'll probably do some more details on this, but I don't know. I like this manila, but I'm going to make a giant one. It's going to be cool. And I think it'll make a good, well, I went to the bank, and I got a bunch of pennies for the rock biter that I recently made. And he's pretty good. I like him. But I think I want to also make a giant Minoa. I want to see how many. The rock biter, giant size, I can get about $10 in. I got a feeling this cavity in here for a giant size will be bigger than the rock biter, so I think I can get more stuff in it. So with that, let's wrap it up. With a reminder that 3D printing is an engineering adventure that you're on. You can develop your skills and knowledge and take this in so many ways. You can make a business out of this. You can teach others. And you can make amazing designs. So design it, engineer it. I have not yet printed out the giant MOAI statue, but that is coming up soon. Once I print it out and confirm it's good, I will post it and put it up on Printables. In the meantime, I made a MOAI statue fridge magnet, and I think it's pretty awesome. And that's posted on Printables. You can go download it right now. I think it's a really good one. I'm going to need to make a few more of them for the homeschool conference. I think they're going to be a big hit.